Welcome, it is great to have you here. In this video, I want to explore how to retain good clients. You've worked so hard to earn them, but you have to keep them over the long term to grow your business. And so that's what we're going to talk about in this vlog. I'm adding new clients every single month. Business is good. I have to say, I have to be candid about that. I am thrilled. I've had a long-term goal to have my digital marketing business cover my basic expenses. And the way that had to happen is that I kept my clients. I earned the digital marketing clients and I kept them, and they covered all the expenses, which then allowed my photography to be gravy, which is, it takes the pressure off of what I love to do when it comes to my creative side. The digital marketing is awesome, but photography is most certainly in my blood. I've been doing it for 30 years and I love creating images for clients and for myself. And so being able to do this at this level is tremendous. And so how do I retain my clients? So first of all, related to photography, I make it easy to do business. And I know that may seem odd, but you really do have to work through these things. I use the per image pricing system, so my clients know what they're getting every time. They know it's going to cost a certain amount, especially if they have the same market size, the same usage on a regular basis. They know it's going to cost a certain amount, and the value is put on the image. I also make it easy for them to access the images that they've purchased. I use a gallery that's online in the cloud through a service, and they can go back and download their images, even past images. And actually, when I upload new images, they're able to look back and say, oh, look at those old images and how, we can use those too for various projects, which they can. So the point is, I make it easy to do business, and I make the risk really low to hire me. Now that means I have to take on some risk too, but I do have backstops, of course. But taking on the risk and making it more about them, and making it easy for them to make the decision to hire me and keep me and call me again because I did what I said I was going to do at a fair price, but a professional price. And everything that we do is about making it easier for them. And so that has helped my photography business grow and really be sustained through a very saturated market. So what about the digital marketing business? What am I doing? Well, that digital marketing world really is a world of what many people consider some sort of voodoo. It's just, marketing often is the first thing to be cut. So I'm looking at some of my clients and I'm thinking, some of they get it, they understand that they want it, but they really understand the value of what they're getting. And so I went through the process and I decided, I'm just going to create one sheet of paper. And this one sheet of paper has exactly what happened and what they paid for, how much. So each month the client is looking, oh, this is how much I paid you, and how much I paid Google or Facebook and whatever the ads were. Oh, but this is how much I got in return. And have that very focused. It forces me to go through the process to make sure every element, every bit of code, every conversion piece of code, everything is there so I can properly track what needs to be tracked. In other words, no shortcuts. It keeps me honest. It keeps me on top of it. It makes sure that I go through and make sure everything is still working, because at the end of the month, I have to face my client and say, this is what you got for your money. I have a client that I met with yesterday. They put in $1, they get $5 back. I have another client, they put in $1, they get a quarter back. So obviously different clients get different returns, but if I show that they get a positive return on their investment, and if they're not, then we have to make some decisions. We have to make some changes, because there are situations, maybe, for example, a client that has a very low margin, or their price of their product or service isn't very high in general. I could be doing my job correctly, but and send a lot of traffic, but ultimately I'm losing the money, even if I do my job right. So it helps me make good decisions too. And I've always done that in the beginning process, but now I'm completing the process all the way through and continuing that process with my clients. So we can work hand in hand. And when it's time to make hard decisions, which happens in many businesses, if you can't come to them and say, look, you give me $1, I'm giving you more back, it's harder to say, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere else, or I'm cutting my marketing. If you can continue to prove, maybe down the road, that client that's getting $5 for every one they put in, maybe it's $2 down the road. Maybe there's a recession and it's down to $2 for every dollar they put in. At least they're doubling the money they invest in us. So what can you do? How can you approach working with a client? And sometimes the value certainly isn't one-to-one. Sometimes it's, why is it they would hire you again? Why? For example, the photography. Yes, I can say, look, you are going to make money in a commercial sense by hiring me as a photographer, and great photographs will help you make more money depending on how you use them. And of course, it's hard to figure that on the other end, but making the risk very low to hire a photographer, that I can work with, and that will keep them coming back, especially if they have a good experience all the way through. So think about the customer experience. And that's what I'm doing more and more, and just continuously improving that. I'm not one of those people who, has a big spread and sending people flowers and doing all these things to, it is the little things, but I'm not really great at those. So I want to do the things that I can do that make it really easy for my client. So if you really get down to it, I guess it's so I don't have to send them flowers. We'll talk to you next time. Hey, thank you for watching my video. I am here to serve. If you have a question, make sure you put it in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.